On this week's show, Red Sister published in April, Fighting Fantasy published in August, and Don Quixote in cinemas, who knows when. Hello and welcome to the Fantasy News Show from the Bottled Imp. My name is Ken Boyter and this is your weekly fix, yes you've guessed it, of fantasy goodness. Up first, Perchang announce a new Warhammer Quest video game. Yes, we reported live last Wednesday, I believe it was, on the Bottled Imp Facebook page that Warhammer Quest 2, The End Times, will be released on iOS and Android this autumn. I did say that right, didn't I? iOS, is that how you say it?
Yeah.
Yeah, good. That's all technical stuff.
What you're trying to say.
Yeah, I'm not trying to say ISIS. No, iOS. It's
to a different level.
I know, that escalated, didn't it? Anyway, it's going to be out on iOS. Apparently that's some sort of format. That's how technical I get. That's why I leave all this sort of stuff to Julian. Anyway, and Android this autumn. Yes, it's a turn-based strategy dungeon crawler video game that is set in the End Times part of the timeline within the whole Warhammer universe. And it is developed by Perchang Studios with the full official license from Games Workshop. So it's all legit, it's all official. And as we know that the last game, Warhammer Quest, came out about 4 years ago, and that was very critically acclaimed, very popular. But all we know about the project, this project at the moment, is the title. Plus they have released several screenshots of the game. It does look really good. We have done a post. We post all the screenshots up to our Facebook page, so you can go and look at it there if you like. And also our Facebook group that we've just created as well. And you can get a good feel for the sort of atmosphere of the game from those screenshots. And what they also said, though, they did do a little atmospheric flavour text that I'm going to read out for you, so bear with me. A cataclysm was prophesied to bring about the end of the old world. Now the forces of chaos have begun their final assault, and the last stand is coming. Heroes from all races and lands are venturing forth. Sworn enemies standing shoulder to shoulder, fighting the demons of the apocalypse. Proud warriors search for powerful artifacts to aid their lords in the coming war. Sorcerers toll for untold powers, while witch hunters seek to settle long-held scores. Dark elf assassins fill ledgers in blood, and berserk dwarf slayers topple the mightiest of foes. These are days of action and adventure. These are the end times. There we go, so it just gives you a little bit of flavour. It does sound pretty cool, it looks pretty cool. And we're very lucky here at Imp Tales because 1/4 of Perchang Studios art director Liam Cullen, he's actually, he's upstairs. What? That's crazy talk. So we have actually talked to him about Crazy Talk, as in he's agreed to do a couple of interviews as and when he can release more information about it. So obviously stay tuned to the Bottled Imp for that. Fingers crossed we'll get exclusives. We won't get exclusive. That's just my dream. Anyway, Red Sister by Mark Lawrence is due out in hardback early April. Red Sister is the latest book by international best-selling fantasy author Mark Lawrence, and it's his first book of a new trilogy called Book of the Ancestor. And the story follows Noah, I don't know quite how you pronounce it, N-O-N-A, Nuna. Let's call the whole thing off. Anyway, she is falsely accused of murder, but is saved from the noose by a sister of the Convent of Sweet Mercy. Here the sisters raise the young girls to be killers. Yes, that's a slightly strange thing to do, but anyway. They raise and educate Nona, in the ways of blade and fist, and among her class, Nuna finds a new family and new enemies. Now, I have read this this book. I've reviewed it because they actually did send me an advance review copy. So that is actually coming out this Friday, so it's all very exciting. Plus, we have reviewed Mark Lawrence's first trilogy, which is the Broken Empire trilogy, so you can check that out on our YouTube channel as well. Red Sister is due out on the 4th of April in the US and also on the 6th of April in the UK. And you can find out more by visiting www.marklawrence.buzz. He has all his information about his books there. The Fighting Fantasy Gamebook series is relaunching this year. This is crazy news. It's a crazy day for news. It's been 35 years since the first publication of Warlock of Firetop Mountain, and that was the first book in the best-selling, they sold millions of these books, by Ian Livingstone and Steve Jackson, where you are the hero. Yes, they're game books, so you get to decide what happens, and how the story unfolds. And there is to be a new publisher. Scholastic UK will be republishing, repackaging and reigniting the gamebook series to a new generation, obviously. Furthermore, Scholastic UK will publish a brand new gamebook by Ian Livingstone called The Port of Peril. And then there are future titles to be planned in the series as well. So that is exciting news. I do love these books. And I just feel like we need to do something about it. And we need to review them, I think, or maybe play them. I don't know. We'll do something because they're just classics. They've, 35 years and they've not constantly been in print, but they keep getting reprinted. So it just shows how popular they are. Plus, it does look like Nomad Games have won the official license to create a video adaptation of these books, as they have released a little, very short, it's probably about 10 seconds, a little teaser trailer saying Fighting Fantasy Legends. So that must be the series of video games that are coming out, but we don't know just exactly the details just yet. But you can find out more by visiting www.fightingfantasy.com, and like always, we will be putting these links in the description. Terry Gilliam's long-held Don Quixote dream is back on. According to, we've had this news before actually, but according to IndieWire website, filming has already begun on The Man Who Killed Don Quixote, this seemingly cursed fantasy film written by Tony Grisoni and Terry Gilliam. Now this stretches way back to about, I think it was 2000, where Gilliam started the filming, the film, and he had endless problems with it, trying to get it finished, one thing after another, it all unravelled. And then over the last 15 years, he's tried on and off to get this film made. And his woes were even documented in a 2002 documentary called Lost in La Mancha, which we've reviewed recently, so you can check that out as well. And according to IMDb, Adam Driver remains in the cast as the lead, who's an arrogant advertising exec who comes to his home Spanish village, and somehow becomes entangled in the legendary, insane would-be knight Jonathan Pryce, i.e. Don Quixote. So Jonathan Pryce is set to be Don Quixote. So that is exciting news if you are a Terry Gilliam fan like myself. A bronze bust of international best-selling fantasy author Terry Pratchett is revealed. It was created by Paul Kidby, who illustrated Sir Terry's Discworld novels, all the covers and other bits and pieces for the illustrations, before he died in 2015. That's Terry Pratchett, died in 2015. The bust was revealed ahead of plans because there's going to be a 7-foot, that's 2 meters, 2.1 meters, statue of the author, and that's going to be in Salisbury in Wiltshire, which was his hometown. The statue of the author, he lived locally to that, near there, and it's due to be erected in the marketplace or Elizabeth Garden. They haven't quite decided yet. Now, the artist is said to be getting the expression right, so he's not unhappy, but not smiling too much. I think we'll recognise that kind of enigmatic, I think the word would be, little smile that Terry always had on his face. Now, there are the plans for the larger-than-life bronze statue of the author were backed by the City Council following an online campaign for a permanent tribute to Sir Terry in the city. So there you go, people power, or imp power, as I like to call it. Kickstarter news, the second volume of Gears and Bones by Guardian Knight Comics is seeking funding. Gears and Bones Volume 2 is a continuation of the blood-soaked adventures of Bones, Pirate of the Eight Skies. In the previous volume, Bones and his crew were attacking a royal ship with the help from a mole on the inside. Now, I'm assuming that's not an actual mole, although that would be really cool, wouldn't it? Like a fighting little mole, that would be brilliant. Now, Bones is on a quest to make himself a free man and avenge the death of his lover. Guardian Knight Comics have experienced team working on this project. We've got Alfredo Apple de la Flute. I know I've got that wrong. Anyway, he's the founder of the Guardian Knight Comics and also the creator of Gears and Bones. Adam P. Anderson is the writer. Montos is the artist, with the colourists being Wes Hartman and Tony Galvin, and the Chief Creative Officer is Austin Rogers. Now, they have a good pedigree in doing comics before and working in that kind of industry. And the comic itself is 70 pages long, and it's available as a printed volume as well as in digital format, as you would imagine. Plus, it has various rewards on offer too. It finished on the 13th of April. Brian Blessed is to star as Udin in the short comedy fantasy film Eric and the Barbarian. Hey? Yes, the Brian Blessed. Gordon's alive! That Brian Blessed. Anyway, the story focuses on Eric, a sweet-natured young man whose timid nature cowers in the face of a bully at work. His debt-collecting agency work colleagues are the ogres and orcs in Eric's world. And can Eric unleash the warrior within, or is he doomed for an insecure future forevermore? Now, the creative team have already personally invested in the film. They've already begun filming the Brian Blessed scenes, and they've got a video of behind the scenes, so they show a little clip of him doing that. And yes, you won't be disappointed if you're a big Brian Blessed fan. He's wearing a big Viking helmet, obviously the big bushy beard. Yeah, it's basically Flash Gordon. Anyway, yeah, so they're now looking for funding to finish off the film and do the rest of it, all the, continue filming and all the post-production. Ben Mottershed is the writer and director of the short film, with Sean Harrison doing the special effects and the prosthetics. And again, they have pedigree in the film industry. They got lots of photographs up on there. There's also lots of costume designs, they've got lots of sketches, they've even got a few bits of the storyboard up there for you to have a look at. And there are plenty of pledge levels and also rewards for you to choose from. It finishes on the 17th of April. The Grim Forest is a 2 to 4 player hidden movement resource gathering strategic house building game from Druid City Games. Packed a lot into that one, didn't I there? The aim of the game is to outwit your friends and build 3 houses before anyone else. You may seek help from legendary fairy tale characters and avoid the cunning creatures that lurk in the forest to become the greatest builder in the land. You are the niece or nephew of one of the 3 little pigs of legendary fame, yes, those 3 little pigs, competing to build a set of 3 different houses. 1 out of straw, 1 out of wood, and obviously, yes, you've guessed it, 1 out of brick. Players make secret plans to travel to parts of Grim Forest to gather limited amount of resources that are available there. The game is designed by Tim Eisner, and there are lots of components packed into this game, including a really, really cool little pig miniatures. Little pig miniatures in hats and clothes and little bags on them. They look brilliant, they're really funny. They do have lots of pictures up there of the cards and what the board visually looks like. They've also got videos of how to play it. It does look really, really stunning. The artwork is amazing. Obviously, like I say, if you're going to back a game, find out what the mechanics are, because they may not, bless you Julian, they may not actually be to your liking, because some people prefer different types of mechanics in a game. And as you can imagine though, they do have lots of pledge levels and rewards and stretch goals and add-ons too. It's already smashed its target, as you can imagine, and it finishes on the 14th of April. Bottled Imp news. Now, we've said this already, but we have created a Facebook group for you guys to come along and chat and talk about fantasy with each other, not just leaving comments on the YouTube videos that we do, the YouTube episodes. Julian doesn't like it when I call it videos. The little episodes. Yeah, leave comments on there as well, that's cool, but obviously if you want to interact with other people that are into fantasy, come join our Facebook group. Just search for The Bottled Imp, click on the join button and we will add you in. On this week's Friday Fantasy Show, now, as I said earlier, we have been kindly sent a review, an advanced review copy of Red Sister by Mark Lawrence, and that is out, as I say, on the 4th in the US and on the 6th of April in the UK. And this is book 1 of a new trilogy, Book of Ancestor, and it is published by Harper Voyager in the UK. So check out this week's Friday Fantasy Show. But that's all we have time for, fellow imps. Thank you so much for watching. Obviously, if you could spread the word of The Bottled Imp, if you know anybody that loves fantasy, get them in touch with us. Is that right? Is that what you say? No. Put them in touch with us. We'll sort them out, fantasy-wise, so to speak. Anyway, before I dig myself into a further hole, thank you so much for watching. Until next time, keep it unreal. Especially if you've kept digging, you just don't stop. You just keep going, and you go down and down further into the hole.